Hola muchachos, welcome here. I get so many questions about like, Sarah, why did you become a minimalist? How did you get into this kind of mindset? And there's a little bit of a story which I will be sharing in this video, as well as some tips for you guys, especially specifically moms here, because I feel like as a mom, as a mama, you are just in the business of consuming children and other items. And it is those other items that we will be focusing on here. So for today's video, I will share a bit of my story, how I became more of a minimalist and adopted that type of mindset. And then on top of that, I will be sharing a bunch of tips for you, mama, to minimize and declutter and reduce the amount of items that are in your life, because you know what? It's too much. Like, it is too much. Are you so tired of just cluttered closets, of busy, full spaces, of opening a cabinet and not actually knowing everything that's inside? Maybe you're also that mom that feels very overwhelmed at birthdays, just knowing how many more excess items are gonna be introduced into your family's life. And sometimes it feels like too much, and that is why I'm making this video, to hopefully help you guys out. So I'm gonna put a timestamp right here. If you care nothing zilch about my story, I completely understand. Go ahead and find this spot in the video. That will take you to specifically the tips if that's what you're looking for. Other than that, thank you so much for being here. If you are new, be sure to subscribe to my channel and also hit that thumbs up button down below, and let's go ahead and get started. When it comes to minimalism, I feel like a lot of people right away they think of like that guy who lives by himself, has no life. Like, honestly, just he has no life. He has like 40 items to his name and they all conveniently fit in his backpack. That is a true deep down minimalist that I honestly really love, and I would love to be that person, but I'm a mom and that doesn't work for me. Minimalism means something different for everyone, but specifically for me, it's living with less, consuming less, and using what I have more. And it's also having everything in my house with a severe, intense benefit and purpose. I don't just have something in my house because I'm like, this is just awesome. I bought it because it was cute. $2 at Forever 21. No, that leads to way too much excused retail therapy and also just so much clutter in your house. So that's basically what minimalism is to me. No, I'm not someone that has 40, 50 items to my name. I'm a mom and a wife, and we do need more items than that just for where we are at in this stage in life. But we do have less than a maybe usual North American family. You would come into our house, you'd see a lot of empty space, you'd see a lot of cleanliness and declutteredness throughout the entire house, and you are welcome to come into my home and to open every cupboard and cabinet, because I have no guilt of anything that's in my house. In fact, I'm very proud of it. Quick hamstring stretch. So like, why I became a minimalist, it's very simple. The place that I lived in before I got married, me and my sister actually had 2 bedrooms. We had a lower bedroom, which is where we could stash everything. In that bedroom, which we kind of classified as our closet, had a double huge like built-in IKEA rack from floor to ceiling, and it was filled with clothes, purses, shoes, accessories. We were shopaholics. We loved shopping. We loved buying $5 t-shirts. They were hideous. Just so everyone knows, the horrible graphic tees that were trendy in 2010, they were hideous. So me and my sister, we had so much space in order to consume, and then from that kind of closet, we had stairs leading up to another bedroom that was large as well, and that was another place and space that we were able just to consume and put things and feel fine about it because we had the space for it, and we did have the money for it. We were also encouraged by my mom to save and tithe from everything that we did earn in our jobs, which we always did because of my mom, and I'm very thankful for that, because otherwise, like, I would have never had a car, insurance, or actually anything without that. But still, besides all of that, we were still looking at our money as we can spend this and buy stuff, and we were more than thrilled to do so. I went from that space and that mindset to being married to my husband Kieran, and we lived in a mobile that was less than 800 square feet. That was the first place we lived, and we downsized. Like, there was just not a lot of space. We didn't have a garage. Everything just suddenly went from like this to this. And that also included income, because now we had vehicles, we had insurance, we had a mortgage, and everything else on top of that. So I had less money to actually buy things with. I had less space to put those items. And I actually realized my responsibility was so much greater than to just consume. So you could say I became a minimalist in a way that I was very much forced, going from a big space to a small space, going from having a lot of freedom with my money to less freedom. So I started just kind of a more minimalist mindset, not buying as many things, using more of what we had. That really opened my eyes more to thrifting, which again saves so much money. Like thrifting first, everything else second. And then as kids came along, I found mine and Kieran's space got even smaller because we had kids. So again, our items and our things were greatly reduced, including our own bedroom. We had to move our bed actually to a place right beside our dining room. And I say this all the time, if you sat on the edge of our bed, you could actually touch the fridge because the kids were now in the only bedroom in the house. We were just in a very minimized space, kind of forced us to be minimalists. I didn't even know what a minimalist was until like 2 years after we started kind of adopting this mindset and style. More specifically me, like Kieran has always been, and I think a lot of guys are, more minimal. Guys don't go out shopping because it's fun. They don't go buy things because they're cute. That's a girl thing for the most part. So in a lot of ways, this was a me issue that I had to deal with. And God gave us a smaller space in order for me to deal with it. And I'm very, very happy that he did. So yeah, 2 years after kind of just getting into this whole minimalism thing, not knowing exactly what it was, I think it was on YouTube that I was like, people are talking about like this minimalism thing. What is it? And as I'm watching these videos, I'm like, that's exactly what I've been doing the past couple years. Very cool to see like this group of people encouraging such a lifestyle, consuming less and using more of what you have, and then in the things that you have, there needs to be purpose there. Fast forward a little bit, less than 800 square feet in one bedroom does not work very well for a family of 5. It was me and Kieran and 3 kids, so we decided to move to this house, which we love and we've been so blessed to have. And it is almost 3 times the size of our last space, which means just more space. We were given all this new space, and you know what? When me and Kieran got in here, and I remember saying this to Kieran, Kieran's behind the camera and that's why I'm looking at him. I remember saying this to Kieran and Kieran like saying it to me, and us just really getting into the mindset. Just because we have space doesn't mean we need to fill it up. There's something beautiful about empty space, and that's something I'm gonna talk about in a little bit. But just like the first how many years of our marriage in that small space and then moving to here, we realized the benefits and what we got in kind of that minimalist mindset from that small space. Bringing it here has been even more beneficial. It has encouraged more space. It has encouraged time well spent and money well spent. It has encouraged me peace of mind in just having a clutter-free house. There was no reason for me to come to this house and be like, now we have space, let's fill it up. Because money-wise, it's not worth it. And mentally, honestly, because items can mentally bug us and even trigger us. Mentally, it wasn't worth it. And like, God, even just like looking around now, I love that we're not just crammed with items and that it takes forever to clean or forever to find something. It's very peaceful and calm in this space. And I believe minimalism and just thinking through the items we have, giving, donating, consuming very mindfully, it's been beautiful. Like, what a great experience. So that's kind of my spiel. That's just how we kind of got into minimalism and have really kept it up. And then on top of that, as a Christian, there is so much in the word that just talks about not storing your treasures here on earth where they will rot and rust and they will just go away, but to store up our treasures in heaven because those are eternal treasures. And then it even talks about Agur, and he's saying to the Lord, he says, don't give me so much that I forget about you, and don't give me so little that I have to steal and profane your name. Just give me what I need. And that's what minimalism is. It's using and keeping and enjoying what you need, what is actually with purpose and benefit, and scratching everything else out of your life. I think that is so key and so important. And I just really want to share that with you guys. So let's go ahead and hop into some tips that I really do hope will help you. Tip number 1, do not feel like you have to keep everything that is given to you or your children or your husband. There have been Christmases and birthdays where kids open things, I open things and I go, oh no, I will never find use for this. I'm never going to enjoy this, and this is just going to sit in my house and do nothing. This is not, please, if you are a loved family member, friend, mom, I love all the gifts you guys give to me. Like really, I honestly know my friends and family think through what I would like to have. Or even better, they ask me straight out, what do you want? Because they know that I'm so very picky. It's kind of like the outsiders, or for me specifically, like PR boxes. I just get sent a lot of things, and some things I'm like, what in the world am I gonna do with this? So don't feel like everything you and your family gets needs to stay in your house. If you're looking at something going like, dang, this Furby is just gonna drive me bonkers, please get rid of it. You can thrift it, you can bury it in the backyard for all I care. It's a Furby, I don't care what you do with your Furbies. No, actually, I don't want to condone burying garbage. Y'all should not. You guys shouldn't bury your garbage. Be responsible and bring it to the thrift store. But just with everything, an awesome video I just watched by Milena Ciciotti, which I can link down below. She talks about how she gets her babe to be entertained, and in that she talks about toys and rotation, and even just not letting her child have gifts right away. Like she said, her child opened a bunch of things for Christmas and she still hasn't brought out those Christmas presents for her to play with yet. She's slowly bringing them out through the year, and I think that's very wise. So I can link that video down below if you'd like to check it out. Number 2, and I said this previously, enjoy empty space. There is nothing like empty space. The clearness, the no clutterness, it brings so much peace. It looks good. It's easy to maintain. I think it was the Minimalist guys that said this, but don't quote me on that. They said, but again, don't quote me on that, if you have 80% less of what you already own, you will have 6 hours in your day of just extra free time. Like the items we have take up so much time. Less items mean more empty space. And I can't even tell you how much I just love and enjoy empty space and feeling no need to fill it up purposelessly, without purpose. There you go. Needlessly. Thank you, Kieran. Tip number 3 is to encourage minimal wardrobes. The average person in North America has about 350 clothing items to their name. That's a lot. I encourage people to have smaller wardrobes, capsule wardrobes, wardrobes that aren't filled with a bunch of trendy pieces, but just very good basics. We can get caught up in the trends and things that are cool for 2 weeks and buy a lot of it, and then it's just going to fill up our wardrobes. It's gonna stuff what does not need to be stuffed. And then in general, it's just a waste. I also find it's easier to do laundry. It's easier to dress myself in the morning. It's easier to tackle stains on clothes. If I just have clothes that do really well with having stains on them instead of things like bejeweled and sequined, you know, or like fluffy things. Why did fluffy things come into fashion? These girls running around, no offense, these girls running around in teddy bear coats, it's weird to me. You guys, like we're dressing like Barbie dolls from like 1990. It's weird to me. Anyway, minimal wardrobes, I find them very helpful and encourage my day to be very productive. Number 4, do not at all have any spaces that you just chuck things into. Junk drawers, junk spaces. Don't have a space that you're like, oh, just chuck it there. Like the chucking space, don't have a chuck space. Everything has a space, everything has a spot, and you need to find out where it is. Like the secret garden. Like you just don't know what's in there until you go in, and then you're like, what is this doing here? I can't tell you the amount of peace I have when I lay my head on the pillow at night and be like, I know where everything is in my house and there is no clutter or unnecessary items. That is such a good feeling. Number 5 is making minimal choices. For example, my kids love Happy Meals. Happy Meals from whatever place they go to. I really enjoy A&W Happy Meals because there's no toy. You are not committed to a stupid toy that your kids will be tired of within 7 minutes. They give you a fruit snack and a root beer sucker. Like that is so fantastic. Something that just doesn't last. It's so nice. Now at McDonald's, we'll still go to McDonald's, but I never, like seriously, never choose the toy. I used to a while back, and then I was like, the kids get tired of them. The kids don't play with them, but thank you, McDonald's. They now do books, like actually really nice, well thought out books. My kids love books. They don't get tired of them. If they do, or if the books rip, I can recycle it, which is way better than what I could ever do with a McDonald's toy. It usually just ends up in the dump. Making minimal choices like that and consuming less items in your house, like that's where minimalism starts, and that's where a clutter-free house starts. Number 6, this does not need to be a family project. This is not something that you need to rope in your whole family into doing. I get messages from seriously hundreds of moms very, very often just being like, my husband shops all the time, my kids do this all the time, we are consuming things all the time. I encourage you, mama, just focus on yourself right now. If you have younger kids, you do have a lot of authority over those items, and therefore do what you will there, but really focus on yourself, set the example through yourself towards the rest of your family. Number 7 is to be disciplined. This is not a trend. This is a lifestyle that you need to stay committed to if you're really serious about it. Sometimes we can get into things and get inspired by things. Maybe you're feeling inspired by this video and go, I'm gonna declutter, I'm gonna do all this stuff, I feel motivated. Motivation lasts for such a short amount of time. It's discipline that lasts forever, but you still need to stay on top of it. So it's awesome that maybe you're clearing out your closet, decor, excess items in your house, but don't fall back into that consumerism mindset 2 months from now, because it is quite an easy thing to do. I encourage you to continue watching videos, maybe have some good books on hand. This is Minimal by Madeline Olivia here on YouTube. I will link her and this book down below. This can help you just stay on track, stay on top of your goals, and continue in a more minimalist mindset lifestyle. Number 8 is to recycle often, donate often, and to do it properly. Have an area in your house that has a box where you can put things that are to go. I grew up with a to-go box. My parents always had a box and they said, like, this is the to-go box. If you have anything you don't want, put it in the box. This encourages you to just continually be looking at your items. Do I like this? Do I need this? How does this benefit me? If you find very little beneficial use out of these items, you can easily just put it in the to-go box. If it can't be donated properly and maybe it's just not in good condition, you can recycle it if you can. Just instead of chucking everything into the garbage, really see how it can be repurposed and donated well, I guess you could say. Number 9, this is kind of more if you have like younger kids, but helping your kids see the difference between a well-used toy and a not so well-used toy. My daughter Ivy, I'd say, is very good at this. She's even given me items in the past saying, you know what, mama, I don't use this as much as I use this one, so maybe we can donate this. She already knows these are the toys that I really like. These are the ones that I don't really play with too much. She kind of will have a natural disconnect, so it's easier to let go of those items that aren't used, aren't played with. I think is actually really good, especially for little kids to grow up in that. Our last one is to invest in experiences and not in items. Now, please, if you have the need for something, like me and Kieran, we just needed new frying pans. Our frying pans were actually like, what were they? They're like Teflon. They're not good, they're toxic, and we've actually had them since we were married, so about like 5 years. And we were like, we are gonna invest in some really good frying pans. And we did. And you know what? We kind of spent until it hurt, but I'm thankful that we did because these will last us so long. They're made really well. We don't have Teflon anymore. We saw the need, we addressed it, and we invested in good pieces that are good quality and will last us a long time versus going to Walmart and buying like a $5 pan that's gonna like break again. So yes, invest in items in that sense, but instead of shopping a lot, buying a lot, consuming a lot, taking in a lot, go out. When you go out and invest in experiences, it's not very often you're gonna bring things in, so you're consuming less there. But this is like the best type of consumerism because when you're going out and investing in experiences, all the consumerism in that happens in your heart and in your mind, and it's the memories. That is so, we should write that on our merch. Consume memories, not items. Oh, that's really good. Sarah, can you paste that on me? Like, consume memories, not items. That'd be really sweet. Memories stay forever and items just stay for a very short amount of time. And I think investing in memories is like the way to go. Thank you all very much for being here and for joining me for today's video. Let me know down below, are you a mom? Are you trying to be a minimalist? Or do you kind of like just where you're at? Maybe where you're purchasing things? Are you wanting to change things up a bit? Just leave me your story down below in the comments. I'd love to read through it. I think a lot of moms think that this is not doable, that having less and consuming less is hard. And I would like to say, yes, it is hard, but it is still very doable. And I encourage you to try and try hard. I promise you will hugely benefit from this type of mindset. And honestly, what like a nice way to look at my items and to look at my stuff. Just knowing that everything is beautiful with benefits and purposes for us as a family. That's just really nice to me. Anyway, thank you for being here and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.